The fog lay heavy over the quiet Essex countryside. A metallic blue Range Rover sat abandoned on a remote farm track near Rettendon. Inside, 3 men were lying lifeless, their lives stolen in a brutal, calculated execution. The town was shaken. These weren't ordinary men. They were feared, powerful, and deeply connected in the criminal underworld of Essex. Their deaths were not accidents. Every detail suggested planning, revenge, and betrayal. Who had done this? And why did 3 of Essex's most notorious gangsters die on that cold December morning? This is the story of the Rettendon Murders, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and deadly consequences that still haunts Essex decades later. Background and characters. To understand the gravity of the crime, we need to know the men behind the headlines. Tony Tucker. Tony, 38, was the leader of the trio. Tall, imposing, and calculated, he commanded respect and fear in equal measure. His network stretched across Essex, controlling the flow of drugs, security for nightclubs, and connections with influential figures in the underground world. He had survived violent encounters before and trusted few. Pat Tate. Pat, 37, was the muscle. Aggressive and fearless, he was quick to anger but fiercely loyal to his friends. He enjoyed the thrill of power, but sometimes his temper created enemies where none existed. He had a reputation for being unpredictable, a man capable of violence in seconds. Craig Rolfe. Craig, only 26, was the youngest, but ambitious. He handled driving, logistics, and enforcement for the group. While younger and less experienced, Craig had proven himself fearless, willing to take risks others might avoid. The Essex underworld. By 1995, Essex was home to a thriving, dangerous drug trade. The trio dominated ecstasy and cocaine distribution in the region. Nightclubs, raves, and private parties were their hunting grounds. Money, power, and influence were constant rewards. But with that came danger. Enemies lurked everywhere. Rival gangs watched their every move, former associates nursed grudges, and even people within their network questioned loyalties. In the criminal underworld, a single mistake could be fatal, and Tony, Pat, and Craig had made a few. Rising tension. In the months leading up to December 1995, tension in Essex's criminal world escalated. The Essex Boys had been taking bigger risks, flaunting wealth, breaking alliances, and mishandling deals. Rumors circulated about missing cash, stolen drugs, and personal betrayals. Witnesses reported fights outside clubs, heated phone calls, and warnings from former allies. One rival gang claimed the trio had refused to pay a share of their profits. Another said someone had been cheated in a drug deal. The list of potential enemies grew every day. Even within their inner circle, cracks were forming. Trust was fragile. And in this world, small cracks often lead to fatal consequences. By the first week of December, Essex was tense. Everyone knew something could erupt at any moment, and that moment came on December 6, 1995. The day of the murders. The morning was gray and cold. Tony, Pat, and Craig were driving together in a metallic blue Range Rover. Their destination, a routine meeting with a supplier. Their minds were on business, not knowing that their enemies had been lying in wait. Some say the killers stalked them all morning, observing, planning. Michael Steele and Jack Holmes, later convicted for the murders, were reportedly waiting in a strategic spot along a remote farm track in Rettendon. The Range Rover drove slowly along the isolated road. Then the silence was shattered, bullets tore through the air, striking the men inside. Multiple rounds hit the trio. Some reports suggest at least 60 bullets were fired, leaving no chance for survival. The killers fled into the fog. By morning, a local farmer discovered the Range Rover and called the authorities. Tony, Pat, and Craig were gone. The crime scene sent shockwaves through Essex. Police quickly launched Operation Century, the largest investigation in Essex at the time. Detectives examined tire tracks, bullets, and forensic evidence, but the killers had left few traces. Investigation and witnesses. Detectives interviewed dozens of witnesses. Some reported suspicious cars seen near the farm track. Others recalled threats or arguments the Essex boys had been involved in. A key witness, a so-called supergrass named Darren Nicholls, provided crucial testimony, claiming he had assisted the killers. His evidence led to the arrests of Steele and Holmes. But the case was controversial. Over 120 crates of evidence were reportedly withheld from the defense. Some ex-detectives claimed corruption had tainted the investigation. Many wondered, were Steele and Holmes truly the killers, or convenient scapegoats for a crime still shrouded in mystery? Trial and controversy. In January 1998, Michael Steele and Jack Holmes were convicted. The courtroom revealed the dangerous world of Essex gangland, threats, lies, and betrayal. Witnesses testified about the Essex boys' dealings, rivalries, and grudges. Yet questions lingered. Were Steele and Holmes acting alone? Had the police overlooked critical evidence? Could someone else, perhaps a rival gang or disgruntled associate, have planned and executed the killings with precision? The public and media followed every detail, fascinated by the brutal efficiency of the murders and the shadowy underworld behind them. Aftermath and legacy. The Rettendon murders left a lasting mark on Essex. Movies, documentaries, and books explored the case, including the 2000 film Essex Boys starring Sean Bean. The story became a cautionary tale: power in the criminal world is fragile, loyalty is rare, and betrayal can be deadly. Decades later, the case continues to fascinate. Some claim the real killers remain free, while Steele's recent release in 2025 reignited debates about justice and corruption. The murders serve as a chilling reminder: in the underworld, one wrong move can end a life, and sometimes, justice is never truly served. Final message. Tony, Pat, and Craig were men of influence and danger, but even their power couldn't protect them from betrayal and violence. In Essex, the shadows are long, the alliances are fragile, and revenge is always waiting. The Essex Boys' final drive remains a story of ambition, greed, and a world where no one is truly untouchable. Their legend lives on, not for their crimes, but for the deadly consequences of a life built on fear, power, and betrayal. Lesson of the story. Power, money, and influence can make a person feel untouchable, but in a world built on fear, loyalty is fragile and betrayal is always lurking. No matter how strong or feared someone may be, one wrong decision, one broken trust, or one enemy underestimated can end a life in an instant. The story of the Essex Boys is a chilling reminder: crime may bring temporary power, but it can never protect you from consequences, and trust is the most dangerous currency of all.